I'm back. Hi. This feels nice. Okay. So, I was told to share a testimony about what God's been doing, and that would probably take 6 years. So, I'm going to make it really short and sweet. Basically, Bethel is... It is oh my goodness. I tried to find one word. I still don't even know. But it's amazing because you're literally in a bubble while you're there, which is good because you're receiving a ton of healing. But God is just, you walk in there and you're like I remember the first day I was there, I was like, what is this place, you know? And you're so submerged in his presence. It's like, there's like an umbrella of his presence over that place, and it's really something special. Like, it's really, so going there, right before going there, I thought I had a bit of an idea who I was, and that's funny. So within the first few months, God spent a lot of time just uprooting lies that I believed about myself. It was apparently year one is an identity year. And so it's pretty rough, but it's amazing. So a lot of lies still being uprooted. I'm understanding now that a breakthrough is not necessarily a one-time deal. It's more of a process because that's where the growing comes. That's where you get strength. That's where you find intimacy with God. And I think one of the biggest things I've learned is they really bring you back to basics with everything. Like, a lot of times as Christians, we make everything a lot more complicated than it needs to be. The basis is it's all about intimacy with God. It's all about the presence. It's all about a relationship, and everything stems from that. So they've really been teaching us how to just cut everything out, focus on God's heart for you, focus on who you are. And as far as identity goes, I mean, it's the key, it's the foundation. So it still is an ongoing journey. There's still things that, you know, he's doing that at this point I've learned that it's better to embrace the journey than to try and go through it faster, because you're just not gonna get everything out of it. So that's another thing that really that's another thing they were teaching us, like when you're facing trials, when you're facing tribulations, it really is a time to rejoice. And at first I was like, oh my gosh, like if they say that one more time, I'm telling you. But it's amazing what you get out of it. And the weapons that the enemy's tried to use against you your whole life, which, I mean, for most of us stems through identity in one way, shape, or form, God will strengthen you, and that becomes your greatest weapon. And then when he tries to come against you with anything, you've already overcome that. You know the journey. You've walked through it. You've seen it. It's been a process, and through the whole process, more than just coming through it, you've come a lot closer to God. And so, I think like one of the things that I loved the most is in this time, God has showed me how much he cares about the little things. And it's not so much about the big, huge plans. And he's more concerned to show me how much he loves me and how special I am to him. And it's always been in little ways. And I remember, like, someone had prophesied over me the first week I was there, and they said something like, you know, God just wants to spend this time showing you how much he loves you, how he listens to you. So one day you might really just be craving chocolate, and you won't tell anyone, and you're just going to be walking around like, God, I really want chocolate, you know? And someone will just come up to you and give you chocolate. I was like, okay, that's fun. Anyways, it happened the next day. Like, it was so funny, you know? Someone brought me my favorite M&Ms, and I was craving chocolate so badly. And I just knew it was confirmation, because it's so silly, but it's so much it's so deep. And when you really think about it, you're like, man, God really wants me to be happy in every area of my life. And like, I'm summing up right now, but for my whole life, it's been a very a roller coaster ride with God, a lot of ups and downs, not knowing who I was or how I could fit in and how I could make God my life without being a bubble Christian and not be able to relate to anyone. I had a lot of struggles with that, and I'm learning now that it's actually so possible, and it's because when you have that relationship with God, he just brings everything into line. Everything. Your thoughts, your heart, your mind, your emotions, your feelings, like everything just makes sense, and it flows from a place of rest and peace. And that's another big thing. Like, there's nothing you can do to change his love for you. That's another thing I've learned. There's no performance. There's There's actually no such thing as performance for God. He doesn't need your performance. He doesn't need your works. He just wants you. And so it's learning to live life. What he's been teaching us as students is learning to live life from a place of identity instead of for identity. So it's really been very powerful, and I'm really excited to see what the next 4 months has in store. So that's it.